had a bad day today, so there are good days and bad days. Today was an acceptable one. I was doing an inspection for a large switchgear for some vehicle chargers. It was like 105 outside, and I was already having a bad morning. So being out in the heat probably for an hour looking at all the different plates of this switchgear probably didn't help too much. But we're live now. We usually do a live Tuesdays and Thursdays. So today I was looking at, it was 8 sets of 500. So 500 is about this big, it's wire. And they didn't pull their neutral to their transformer. And when I asked them, I said, hey, why didn't you pull the neutral to the transformer? They said, well, it's 480, we're not going to be using it. But the thing is, as an electrician, you guys need to understand that you still need a neutral at the source, because when you have an issue with your electrical or you short one of the wires to the box, the neutral is actually what ends up tripping the breaker. So even if you're not using it on your load side for like the power, like a light will have a hot on one side and a neutral as a return path. When you have just straight 480 for large vehicle chargers, you don't have a neutral because you're not going to be using it. But on your service side, you absolutely have to have one. Just the principle of how you trip breakers. These guys were missing it. They just had grounds. But they were 100% sized, so the grounds were the same size as the neutral. And I told them, just put some gray tape on your grounds and we'll call it good. But the utility company won't usually install grounds in their transformer. So then I had to call the utility company out to verify that they were even landed, because sometimes they just won't land them. Sometimes they'll just say, hey, you got some extra wires here. So we had them take the green tape off, put the gray. It should have been gray, but if you look at that picture, I know what white looks like, man. They use white tape, but it's already landed in the transformer, so whatever. Larry Sin is out of here. So, just one of those days. Tom Green, what's up? Oh, what's up, Allie? How's it going? I'm an electrical inspector, so I never really know where I'm going to be around the city. I see all kinds of stuff. But you'd be surprised how many people don't pull a neutral to the utility transformer. I was doing temporary for a crane about a year and a half ago. So you probably see it on bigger jobs at least twice a year. And it was temporary for a crane. It's like 400 amps or something. And a crane only uses 480. Doesn't use a neutral. Just some grounds and 3 hots for 3-phase. And this is like an old school guy, man. I was 28 when I started becoming an inspector. And it's almost 10 years later now. You should turn... Oh, okay. Right on. There you go. So, do I ever do car audio stuff? I used to a lot, man. I'm a huge fan of, good audio. The last car, even the latest car that I got, it had all of the bells and whistles to it, so it had a built-in subwoofer, but it just wasn't enough. So I took the factory wires and put a 12. Just wired it straight up. We'll see how that holds, but if it doesn't, no loss. But it's been about a year and it's been pretty good. But yeah, I do car audio stuff. Probably wired up about 12 different systems. So, will you stream a Souls only become member only stream? I don't think so. No, the members only stream will be for knowledge with electrical updates or like sneak peeks. Like we unboxed a lot of stuff on the members only the other day that manufacturers probably didn't want me showing you. So yeah, they're always like, oh, this is a pre-release, don't tell anybody, don't show anybody. We opened something up the other day. Wasn't probably allowed to, but whatever. It's coming out soon enough. But yeah, we'll do like sneak peeks, things like that for members only. But man, I was on the back side of that switchgear today, and I was looking at the bus parts because it's just in the middle of Walmart's parking lot, and like the factory plates were missing from like the ground to the neutral, and from the ground to the ground, and they had a jumper. And the last time I was there, I put explicitly in my notes that your main bonding jumper. Now we're getting a little bit off into more technical stuff. So if you're an electrician, you'll understand. But basically, your main bonding jumper is what you guys would know as that green screw in your panel. Or it would be that crossbar that goes from the ground to your neutral in your panel as well. It's going to be where your grounds and neutrals get tied together, basically. And what that does is, if I had a problem with give me the cord. If I had a problem with this receptacle here, a lot of people think that when the hot touches the ground, it creates so much amperage that it trips the breaker. But what actually happens is when the hot touches the ground, it goes through this ground wire, and it goes all the way back to the panel. And then because the grounds are tied to the neutral, that the first means the disconnect, the power goes back through the neutral wire, and then goes all the way to the utility transformer, goes through those windings, and then comes back, and then goes to the breaker that originally fed this. It trips it. So there's certain jumpers that you have to have for your electrical system for it to operate even. And these guys didn't have any of that, man. It was crazy. So it's like 105 outside, and I'm looking in the instructions trying to figure out what bonding jumpers like they're missing, because obviously it's a chunk of copper that's like that thick, right? And then it's like just like a copper agate, and pretty much just like a copper bar that you can bolt to, because it's just a bus bar, big one. So some dude probably thought, hey, you got some extra scrap today, I'm just gonna throw this in my tool bag, and thought that he didn't need it, thought it was like an extra piece or something when they're building that gear. So that's put the job behind by like maybe a month trying to get that Walmart up. But it's one of those things. So their jumper, they put a 500 across, which is a wire like this big. But when you size that bar, if you were to allow a wire jumper, which I told them don't do a wire jumper last time, I said it's got to be the factory bar, you would take 12.5%. Hang on a second, let me check the chat there. Yeah, you would take the largest ungrounded conductors, basically the hot wires. In this case, they had 8 of them, and they're all this big. So you add that up. You got to divide that by 12.5%, and that's going to give you the size of your jumper. So they actually needed a jumper that's like almost this big. They needed like a 900 kc mil jumper for their bar. It's like, there's no way, man. That's why you got to go factory. That's why you can't try to size that stuff yourself. Lots of liability. So between that and then just having a bad morning probably is why I missed the original live today. But you guys will probably watch this later. But yeah, it's been more good days than bad days lately. But if you want to count the bad days versus the good days, I haven't had very many good days in 3 years. So I probably had about 30 good days in 3 years. So well, actually no, I've had 2 weeks now, on and off. So it's been, we might be up to close to 50. Probably about 50 good days in 3 years. So I've had more good days than bad for a while, but it's still like exhausting, man. You never know if you're gonna wake up sick. Yeah. So there you go. I know you guys look forward to the lives. I can tell we're out at the wrong time because usually we have about, 100 people in here. So no worries. That's the update for today, what I was dealing with. But go back and look at the thumbnail of this live and tell me that's white tape and not gray tape. The dude's trying to tell me, he's like, no, that's my gray tape. And I was just like, whatever, dude, let's just turn it on, man. It's like, you're really gonna hold up the job for another month over some freaking color of tape? Trying to argue with the inspector. He's gonna have to change it, but once it's in the transformer, the utility, it's too late at this point. But on his side, on his switchgear side, I'm gonna make him change it, because that tape is white. Anyway, that's all I got. We'll probably see you guys tomorrow or something, trying to get ready for a party. Gonna hang a piñata. Gotta move some fence around so the dogs are blocked in. Things like that. So we will catch you guys later. See ya.